Well, joining us now to discuss the confirmation of some ambassadorial nominees by the Nigerian Senate, as well as the U.S. planned visa ban on those involved in alleged Christian genocide, is Professor Agbo Madaki from the Faculty of Law of the Federal University of Lokoja. Thank you so much, Professor, for joining us on the news tonight. Well, let me begin by asking you your general take on the submission of lists so far. We now have 68 in total. We know Nigeria has 109 missions across the world. The first three have scaled screening and confirmation, we are told by the Senate, and those include UK, US, France. The three are to be sent to those countries. But when you also look at their portfolios, these are high-profile security and intelligence figures. What does that tell you about Nigeria's, or the president, the administration's sense of its foreign policy at the moment?
Yeah, in the first instance, I think I must commend the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for eventually rising up to the challenge by making this appointment, because it's long overdue. In a scenario or situation that for so many months, Nigerians does not have ambassadors or representatives and high commissions and embassies all over the world, does not speak well for a country of the size and significance of Nigeria. So it is commendable in the first instance. The truth of the matter is that under international law, every country, every nation is sovereign. And once a nation maintains diplomatic relationship with another country, it behoves on that country to nominate and send ambassadors to represent the interest of that country in the host country. So I think it is very, very important, because the truth of the matter is that you have Nigerians in the diaspora. In most countries of the world, outside the citizens of those countries, Nigerians constitute a significant majorities of foreigners in that country. And I think other than their diplomatic activities, these ambassadors also oversee and protect the interests of Nigerians that are resident in such host countries. So in a situation that we didn't have ambassadors, didn't speak well for us at all, because we're simply left unprotected. I mean, Nigerians that are in those countries. And because they play so much role, both diplomatic, cultural exchange, signing of treaties, gathering of intelligence, and so on and so forth. So I think this is very important. And then coming specifically to your questions, the appointment of certain personnel, especially those with intelligence and security background, to high-profile countries like America, US, as the case may be. These are countries that normally, if there's needs or cough, the whole world will shake, as the case may be. You cannot discuss international relationship or politics without mentioning countries like America, Germany, France, as the case may be. So I think sending this caliber of persons, taking into consideration their cognate experience, their professional experience, their previous classification to this particular sensitive country at a time that the image of Nigeria is at its lowest ebb, is simply the right thing to do, especially the current challenges we face in our international diplomatic relationship with the United States of America.
Absolutely. And let me come in here. I mean, Tinubu's 4D doctrine of democracy, development, demography, and diaspora, with the list of nominees coming 2 years after, does it raise a strong question, a question mark on Nigeria's foreign policy under this administration? I mean, first off, most importantly, what would you say that this nominees, if they're eventually confirmed, what would be their job number one, considering that a lot of damage seems to have been done to Nigeria's, global reputation?
I agree with you that the inertia or lethargy in not appointing these ambassadors over the last 2 years obviously has done a lot of damage to our bilateral relationship with the different countries of the world, diplomatic relationship with different countries of the world. And for the nominees, or eventually when confirmed, as Nigerians will put it in the Nigerian parlance, they must hit the ground running to do damage control and to restore the kind of relationship hitherto that we have had with this country. Because at the pain of repeating myself, first and foremost, an ambassador is a representative of the nation that they represent. An ambassador is like the Nigerian head of state in that country, because under the law of diplomatic immunity, so they enjoy immunity in the host country. Then there's the principle of inviolability of the embassy. That is, the Nigerian embassies or high commission, wherever located in the world, is deemed as if it's part and parcel of Nigeria. And the host country and their security apparatus can never even enter it. So it is very, very important to have these people on the ground, protect Nigerian interests, encourage bilateral trade relationship with Nigeria, and the signing of treaty, relationship with multilateral organizations, cultural exchange, and above all, the promotion and protection of interests of Nigerians in those countries. And these are the areas we expect them to focus.
Okay, so let's go to the other issue of brewing diplomacy, if I can call it that, between Nigeria and the US, particularly around matters of security. Just yesterday, I believe, 24 hours ago, Secretary of State Marco Rubio tweeted the latest decision of the United States. And he, in his language, he's referring to those who knowingly direct, authorize, fund, or support religious violence would now be issued visa bans. And I wonder what your reaction is to that. I mean, does that wording suggest that the US already has a list of these individuals and entity? And if that's the case, do you think it should be made public? And why hasn't it been made public?
I think the question we should ask ourselves, this issue of terrorism has been with us even before 2009. Terrorism has been with mankind for over 300 years, as the case may be. And for Nigeria, we've lived with terrorism for so many years. But it came to the fore, national and international limelight, with the emergence of the Boko Haram group in 2009. And successive government, even before now, have simply handled the issue of terrorism with kid gloves. When it started like a first return in 2009, the government of President Obasanjo simply did nothing, believing that it would first stay away. And it didn't, and it has grown to the monster, the hydra-headed monster that we have today, that has become extremely very difficult to tame, as the case may be. And we know as of far from the pronouncement of people in the government, from the pronouncement of people that have served in the military, who have retired, that there are known sponsors and collaborators, including Bureau de Change, that fund the activities of this extremist religious group or terrorists, as the case may be. So the first question we should ask ourselves, how come before now the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria have not named, shamed, and prosecuted the sponsors of this heinous crime that have made life simply impossible for Nigerians? Like I did mention earlier, the United States of America has an embassy in Nigeria. And if you go to Lagos at the Eco-Atlantic, the US is building probably the biggest embassy in the world in Nigeria. It shows that Nigeria is a country, in this case of particular concern, not negative or positively.
Maybe a country of importance.
Of importance. God bless you. Nigeria is a country of particular importance to the United States of America. And when you have an embassy in a country, do not forget that embellished in those embassies are intelligence officers, security officers, military attaches, and these people monitor the happening in the host country and report back to their country. So the point that I'm making, America have full details, and they have the technology, the know-how, the ability, and the capacity to know those who are behind, those who are sponsoring these activities in Nigeria. And if you ask me, the issue of visa, the issuance of visa is not a right under international law. It is simply a privilege. I have a right to determine who enters my house.
And who doesn't?
And who doesn't, as the case may be.
The Nigerian government
So when it comes to visa ban to certain persons of particular concern, at the pain of using that word, any nation will have a right to determine who enters and who does not, because such persons also constitute security risks to the country that they are being banned from entering. And in any case, unfortunately, Nigeria has been designated as a country of particular concern.
Yes.
And one of the natural implications is either to reduce diplomatic relationship, reduce collaboration with that country, reduce military aid, and also refusal of visa to persons they think are directly or remotely concerned with these activities that have stigmatized our name.
And that leads me to ask, how effective, what impact do you really think that this visa ban will have on these persons of particular interest as far as Nigeria is concerned? And on the issue of the possibility of the United States intervening in whichever form in the Nigerian situation. One of the ambassador nominees in the person of Dambaza, former chief of army staff, actually says, look, the United States will never, pursue anything that is not in her own personal interest, in the interest of the United States. I'd like you to address these two issues. I mean, if America is interested in Nigeria, how mutually beneficial is this interest? Or what can Nigeria really benefit from this interest?
I think the first question is, what does America stand to benefit from Nigeria? It is now a common knowledge that we are the largest country in Africa in terms of population and human capacity. For a country with a population of 230 million, whether you like it or not, we're a veritable market for the international community in terms of trade or bilateral relations, as the case may be. And in any case, Nigeria is very important and necessary for the stability of Africa as a continent. Should this country, and God forbid it, implode, I think the whole world will be in crisis, because there's not a single country in Africa, that can contain the exodus of Nigeria to those countries, as the case may be. So I think Nigeria is a country of particular interest, not only to the United States of America, but to most countries of the world. And of course, yes, the first oil field was found in America, in Pennsylvania, many years ago. But yet Nigeria is a major producer and exporter of oil. And we also export oil to America and many other countries. As a matter of fact, without sounding as if I'm praising this government, but for the first time we have trade imbalance in favor of Nigeria. With many foreign countries, direct foreign investment, as the case may be. So America is obviously interested in Nigeria. Nigeria, we are very, very rich in mineral resources all over the country, very precious mineral, uranium, whatever you may call it. So Nigeria needs to be stabilized, to be peaceful, in order for these minerals to be exploited and explored and exported to other countries, which need this, as the case may be.
And to benefit Nigerians. And to my
and
other
to benefit
question,
Nigerians. Thank you very much.
The effectiveness of this visa ban, how effective really would it be?
In the first instance, I'll call it name and shame.
Right.
The mere fact that you have been named that you sponsor terrorists in this country, and because of that you are banned from almighty America, it's a big shame to yourself, a big name to your family, and probably the community that you come from. And do not forget that, unfortunately, most of the looting that takes place in Nigeria, this money are taken outside the country to safe haven, to the United States of America, to Swiss bank, to the Panama Island, as the case may be. So if these persons are banned, automatically they may also not have access to the monies they've looted and stacked away in
assets freezing. Well, thank you so much.
Exactly.
Professor Agbo Madaki is from the Faculty of Law at the Federal University of Lokoja. Thank you for your insights on these topics. Thank you so much for your time.